What's up guys, the Lazy Goldmaker here. Today we're going to talk about the Burning Crusade anniversary realms that we are going to. I'm logged into my poor little guy on the anniversary realms where I did a flipping challenge to get to 1,000 gold a while ago. But the main thing we're going to talk about today is Burning Crusade gold making, which I have quite a bit of experience with from Burning Crusade Classic. So we're going to dive into the goodies. Now, obviously with new expansions, the early weeks matter a lot. This is when people are spending a lot of gold gearing out their characters. This is always the time where you can make the most gold and where sale rates on everything is really, really high. So this is something that that you want to take advantage of. And there are some professions that are better than others, and there's also some other things you can do in the early weeks when you're going off to make some gold. Now, obviously, the first thing you can do to make gold is farming. I personally don't like farming, so I'm not going to do that at all. I never do that unless I absolutely have to. But for farming, obviously, you have gathering professions. So herbalism and mining. For mining, you're going to target adamantite. There's several routes along multiple different zones. If you're going to farm, you definitely need to get to max level and get a fast flying so you're efficient. So hopefully you already have a decent chunk of gold. You'll also get some from leveling so that you can get into flying through with the 5,000 gold mount, which is going to just be so much faster than doing it the slow way. For herbalism, I'm not sure which zone has the best routes, but probably you want to do some of the high level zones. The last farming option you have is, in addition to professions, you can use you can farm for primals. So mobs, elemental mobs in Outland will drop the various motes that you can then combine into primals, and these are used in all of the high-end crafting recipes. So these are extremely high demand. Primal fire farming, for instance, you can do that in Hellfire Peninsula, in the Throne of Kil'jaeden area. It's also usually fairly contested. There are also other spots, but Primal Fire and Primal Air are usually the most expensive ones. Primal Water sometimes as well. They sell really, really well. They're used by a lot of recipes, so they're all good. This is definitely an area where it'll be interesting to see exactly how the TBC anniversary realms function as far as spawning goes. If the camps are, if the spawns are completely camped and you can't get any kills, then obviously you're gonna be wasting your time. But if there are ways to keep the spawn going, then you're gonna be able to farm a lot of primals and get a lot more gold per hour. Then we have the crafting professions, and obviously crafting professions is my bread and butter as a gold maker, so I definitely suggest going for that in TBC. And we do have a couple of different options now. Main thing we're getting jewel crafting as a new profession, and jewel crafting is really, really good. Like, there is absolutely zero question. Jewel crafting is incredibly good in TBC. You have some of the items you can craft, but obviously you're mainly doing the gems. And the good thing is that almost all of the rare gem recipes are world drops. You can grab them from the auction house. You can get any of them. What I found in original TBC Classic was that buying these recipes early on was extremely profitable. You definitely want to get one for every color, one good recipe for every color, and then probably some more of the red ones. For red, agility and spell power are the top two ones, by the way. So runed and delicate, they are the most popular classes in phase 1 in particular. And then you just want to prospect ore. I have an old prospecting calculator that still works, obviously. But prospect the ore, cut the gems, and sell them. For gems, be aware that they're not going to sell super well until raids open. But what happened in TBC Classic was that once raid opened, the price exploded. The auction house ran out, people hadn't prospected enough, and people just weren't buying them before the raid. Once they started getting epics, they were buying the expensive gems, and they were extremely expensive. Obviously, on top of that, gear crafting is always good, and gear crafting is very good in TBC. There are multiple best in slot recipes, and obviously the biggest profession for that is found here in tailoring. There are some extremely good recipes here. You have the cooldown cloth, which is very good. This is something you can get free money for every day, just doing the cooldown and selling them to other people. And then on top of that, you have some BOE recipes that are best in slot or close to it. Spell strike set, really good. You have to get to max level to farm these. But then you have stuff like the Bracers of Havoc. This is the world drop recipes that's usually pretty cheap. This one was an incredible recipe. It's extremely good, very cheap to craft, sells super fast. This one is very good. There are multiple very popular caster classes generally in TBC. This is just an absolutely incredible recipe. Then the Vengeance Trap, this one is best in slot for physical DPS early on, so this one is also something that's well worth picking up if you can. The Girdle of Ruination is also another recipe that is best in slot, but what I found in TBC Classic is that for the more expensive crafted recipes, people would usually pay someone to just craft it for them, so they wouldn't be buying them off the auction house. But the cheaper ones, like Bracers of Havoc, they would be absolutely flying off the shelves on the auction house. Incredible recipe. So you definitely want to take advantage of that if you can. Now the last thing you can do is playing the auction house, just do buying and selling. And here are some of my old material flipping results. I did a lot of this back in TBC. This one is from some point during Classic TBC. I'd been flipping materials for 2 weeks. Interesting thing to see here, top material, Vision Dust. This is a classic material. And there are a lot of classic materials on the list here. Shard Tooth Echoes, Arcane Dust, like there's a lot of classic materials. Classic items are selling really well even after TBC is out, by the way. So this is really, really important thing to be aware of. Just don't sleep on the classic stuff. It is going to sell well even as we get into TBC, and it's really, really simple. You buy materials at less than 80% of the market value, you sell them for 100%, and it's just nice profits. Generally speaking, you want to do herbs, you want to do bars, you want to do enchanting materials because they have the lower end of deposit costs compared to what you can sell the items for. And it's just extremely, extremely nice. We might have some results here as well, but yeah, here we lay down the basic idea. You buy anything that shows up at less than 100% when you grab my Trade Skill Master settings, and then you'll just post them back to the auction house and you're ready to go. We can have the setup is down here on this old post, which I'll also link in the video description so you can be ready. This, by the way, also works extremely well right now on the Anniversary Realms. I did do early on. This level 5 character is my only character on the Anniversary Realms. And I have 1,000 gold, which I got purely from flipping. You can see here I did this at the beginning of the year. Took a little while, but we made 1,000 gold over a period of like 3 months. Just sitting on the auction house, logging in a couple of times a day and buying and reposting materials. So this is just something that's proven and will always work on the old auction house. If you want to invest in some materials right now, you definitely can. In particular, enchanting materials, Vision Dust is a real long-term bottleneck to leveling enchanting. And once people get into TBC zones, there aren't going to be that many classic materials farmed. So look into anything. You can also check out the profession leveling guides on WoW Professions to get some ideas. See which materials are used in like really large quantities for each profession, and see if you can buy some of these. You can also do the same with jewel crafting materials, for instance, as a lot of people will be leveling jewel crafting when we get into the TBC. Now, if you want my profession tips, if you're just starting from scratch and just focusing on gold, I think tailoring jewel crafting is the best combination. And then obviously, generally speaking, if you can, you want to have every profession at max level. That is always an advantage. After that, you can pretty much go for anything. Alchemy is good for volume. If you like doing something that's a lot of crafting, just like buying a ton of herbs and crafting a lot of potions or flasks. Or you can go for blacksmithing, leatherworking for more chill, where there aren't that many recipes, but they sell fairly well. either way, that's it for me. If you have any questions, let me know. I do have a lot of experience from gold making in TBC, so I can hopefully help you out. Thanks for watching.